Welcome guys to my new video. Today we are not farming gold, but I'm showing you a guide to Mythic Warrior. Warrior is not Mythic, but to Mythic plus dungeons and dungeons overall. I'll be showing you the talents, rotation and so on. This is the third time that I'm recording this because first two microphone was muted, so very big plus to me. Other than that, maybe for some new players, I'll go briefly around the warrior class. Warrior is a melee fighter class with high burst potential, and reason why I like it is it really feels fun to me and you get to pump insane DPS. With that being said, let's go over to the talents for the third time. So this is what your talent tree looks like for Mythic plus dungeons. I'll show you the ones that you can maybe replace and try out. Here we have powerful enrage, increases your damage whilst you are enraged, and enrage lasts 1 second longer. Enrage, basically we take 10% damage, we take 10% reduced damage, our auto attacks can't miss, and yeah, thanks to this, it's not just like your auto attacks can't miss when you enrage, they can, but we take this so they can't. And here the choice that we have is Frenzied Enrage. Increase your haste by 15% and moon speed by 10. You can try them both. I was using this one for the most of the time, but recently I switched up to this one. It felt kinda slow, like how your abilities were casting and everything, but after one dungeon you get used to it. Feel free to try both. Other than that, let's cover up some important talents. We have improved Whirlwind and we have Meat Cleaver. Whirlwind deals more damage, and if it hits up to 4 targets, it hits additional type for 55% damage. And also, once you cast Whirlwind, you get 4 stacks of Whirlwind, yeah. Your next single target attack strikes up to 4 additional targets for 55% damage. That is really important in Mythic Plus, since most of our AoE abilities are on very big cooldown and they are burst. So Whirlwind is going to be your best friend for quite a while. Next thing, I'm using Wrath and Fury. Raging Blow deals 15% increased damage, and while enraged, Raging Blow has a 10% increased chance to instantly reset its own cooldown. I've seen a lot of people using Ashen Juggernaut. Execute increased the critical chance of execute by 10% for 15 seconds, taking up to 5 times. This does seem very nice, but unless you're pushing really high keys, you really won't need this too much. But the Mythic, the affixes, however you call them, wait, it's on, yeah, Mythic Plus Dungeons. Yeah, it's tyrannical, so bosses do have 25% more health, so if you're struggling on bosses, feel free to take that. Other than that, let's go back to talents. Then you take Odin's Fury, this is a must, and you take Titanic Rage. Here we have Bladestorm, of course, so iconic ability for Warrior, so OP, I just like it so much. And here you take, every other time Bladestorm or Revenger deal damage, you automatically cast a Bloodthirst at your target or random nearby enemy. So let's say you're like 200k HP. You pop Enrage Regeneration, and let's reset all data, and let's do just Bladestorm. And it's casting Bloodthirst in the meantime. You don't see it, but it's casting it. And once you look here, you see Bloodthirst did 200k damage. How much times did it cast? Can I see that? 2. So it basically casts 2 times, meaning you restore a lot of your HP. Here we take Reckless Abandon, sorry. Yeah, it does. Recklessness generates 50 rage, and Rampage empowers your next Bloodthirst and Raging Blow. This is very important. You see, you pop this, you get 50 rage, you charge, you do your rampage, and your Raging Blow and Bloodthirst are empowered. Now, this side, if you're using Stormbolt, it's very good for interrupts, and you can get 20k more damage whilst you are Bladestorming. Other than that, if you are new, I do recommend that you do not use this, but go into Fast Footwork, increase your moon speed by 5% until you get kinda until you get used to the game. That is what I want to say. Other than that, here we take Avatar, of course, transform into a Colossus for 20 seconds, causing you to deal 20% increased damage and removing all roots and snares. And here on the bottom, most people take Berserker's Torment, but this is a Mythic Plus guide. And since we are spamming dungeons, we take Titan's Torment. Activate Avatar casts Odin's Fury, and activating Odin's Fury grants 4 seconds of Avatar. So let's just go here. You go Charge, you go Avatar, and it casts Odin's Fury. And look at the damage. It's just 2 million damage from nothing, and you get a buff for the next 20 seconds. It's insane. Here, you want to take Thunderous Roar. It's basically this. And you see this debuff that it applies to all targets, and since we took Thunderous Wounds, increases the duration of Thunderous Roar's bleed effect by 2 seconds, and Thunderous Roar bleed effect causes enemies to take 30% increased damage from all your bleeds. Meaning you do this, you do Odin's Fury, and you are doing some massive damage. Here, let's go into the Slayer talents real quick. I take Relentless Pursuit. I really like it more than the Vicious Agility. Then we take Culling Cyclone. Each strike of Bladestorm deals an additional 20% damage, evenly split across all targets. And here we take Opportunist. When Raging Blow resets its own cooldown, your next Raging Blow deals 30% additional damage and 30% additional critical damage. And since we have chance for it to reset its own cooldown, this is very, very good. And here we have 10%, and here we have another 25%, meaning we have 35% for this to reset its own cooldown, and when it does, it deals increased damage and increased crit damage. And I think that would be pretty much all about the talents, and now I will talk about rotation. And now let me show you the rotation. Basically, first, before I show you, I will tell you, you go Recklessness into Charge, into Avatar, into Thunderous Roar, into Bladestorm, Odin's Fury, Rampage, Raging Blow, and Bloodthirst. Now let's see that in praxis. Let's do a Battle Shout. Let's go on with Recklessness. We Charge, we do Avatar's Fury, we do Thunderous Roar, we do Bladestorm. I'll cast one Rampage in the meantime, we do this, and once you get an Execute proc, you always want to cast it. You do Bloodthirst, and now you just repeat your rotation. And once you are above 80 Rage, you want to cast Rampage. Other than that, continue spamming your abilities. See it, we got a cooldown reset, we just continue on. And basically what I also wanted to tell you, the Raging Blow is better single target damage ability than Bloodthirst, but in case there are 2 or more targets, you want to go Bloodthirst because we have a chance. Bloodthirst has a 20% chance to cause you to unleash a Flurry of Steel, striking all nearby enemies for 200k damage. And applying Overwhelmed deals reduced damage beyond 8 targets. And yeah, that is basically the opener for single target rotation. Then you just go on spamming your Rampage, Raging Blow, and Bloodthirst. You want to pay attention, like you can be rage starved. So let's say like we do this. Now we have one Rampage. Now you want to go into Raging Blow, we do Bloodthirst, we do proc Execute, we go Rampage, Bloodthirst, Raging Blow, we do Rampage, Raging Blow, Bloodthirst, Execute, and so on. Now let's talk a bit about AoE rotation. Without any cooldowns, or yeah, we can use some. Let's just go, we charge in, we do Avatar, we do Thunderous Roar. I should have done that differently, but it doesn't matter. And you always want to keep stacks of your Whirlwind up, so you get increased damage. And pay attention, Odin's Fury gets you 4 stacks of Whirlwind, so you don't have to cast Whirlwind if you are going to charge in and cast Odin's Fury. Or you don't need to cast it at the start, but of course you need to cast it later on when you use all of the stacks. And then you just continue Whirlwind, Blow, Rampage, this, Whirlwind, we go into Bloodthirst, Raging Blow, and you continue so on. And you can do so on until the tank dies or the mobs and you wipe or you kill them all. And that would be all about the rotation. I'm gonna talk a bit about the stats that you need now. But considering if you're not full geared, you won't be really looking over for the stats, but else for basically any item level upgrade. And now a bit about your stats priority. So your stats priority goes like this. Of course, strength, that is that is like everyone knows that. And then after strength, let's talk about enhancements, how they call them. First and most important one is mastery. Increase damage done while enraged by 30% by me currently, because I have 30% mastery, as you can see. And we are gonna, as I said, I think I said, or I said whilst I was muted, we're gonna spend most of our time enraged. We want to spend all of the time enraged, but sometimes that is really not possible. But 95% of the time we are enraged, basically meaning we are doing 30% increased damage all of the time. Next most important stat is haste. Increase attack speed and spellcasting speed. This is pretty self-explanatory, nothing too much to say here. You are attacking faster, your abilities go off faster, you can cast more abilities. Next thing is versatility. Increase damage and healing done by 6% and increase damage taken by 3.1% by me, but of course maybe you have some other stats and so on. And the last but not least is critical strike. Chance for extra effectiveness on attacks and heals. This is our least important stat, and maybe someone is new and they are wondering, hey, but you have another stat, leech. Returns a portion of your damage and healing as healing to you. This is really not important. I really don't know on what piece do I have leech, but I'm not really perfectly geared either. Only thing that is quite good by me is this two-hand sword which I crafted, which costed like 100k gold. But other than that, most of the gear I'm going to replace, like this chest, critical as main stat, disaster, or like I still have some PvP gear because it was better than one I had. This ring is crit, and look at this, 3.6k mastery. And yeah, that would be all for this video. I hope this guide helped you. I will be making one for raids and basically which raid talents you need to use. Yeah, nothing changes too much, but there is some decent change and also changes to your rotation. But nonetheless, if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. Other than that, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will answer all of them. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.